That's pretty good. It tastes like a deep fried anything, like a Cheeto or something. But if you handed me this, I'd say, yeah, that's a spider. You know, you cannot disguise this. It doesn't look like a donut. It doesn't taste like a donut. It's very clearly a tarantula. I think I'm gonna try the silkworm and taro croquette with the special sauce that they've prepared for it. It's funny that from a food standpoint, I'm more concerned that it's deep fried than that it's made out of silkworms. Siem Reap, Cambodia, with the much larger capital city of Phnom Penh just a 45-minute flight away, this city on the coast of Lake Tonle Sap may seem like an unlikely global destination. But with the slow-paced lifestyle and the kind-hearted people that live here, Siem Reap has become sort of a second home to me over the years. When I landed at the airport, I got off the plane, jumped in a tuk-tuk, and today I'm taking another tuk-tuk. It's actually my favorite mode of transportation here in Siem Reap. I feel it's nice, you get to see everything, it's open air. It's also one of those when in Rome situations because this is a very authentic Cambodian experience. Siem Reap is famous for the site of Angkor Wat, a vast ancient city the size of London, built by the Khmer Empire in the 12th century. Several of the temples are still standing today, surrounded by the vast Cambodian jungle. Angkor Wat, Siem Reap's most important temple, was rediscovered by the French, who colonized Cambodia in the first half of the 20th century. Since then, various conservation projects have been conducted to bring this temple, which once housed 12,000 people, out of the ruins of the jungle. And if you're coming to Cambodia, Angkor Wat should be on the top of your must-see list. Before you can visit Angkor Wat, you actually have to get your tickets. It's free for Cambodian people, but if you're visiting as a foreigner, you have to stop by the ticket office first. Hi, 3 people for 7 days. Long weekend. It's cool. Hey, have fun. Yes. Personalized. It's also kind of like a nice souvenir. Now that I have my pass, I can visit basically unlimited times, unlimited entries for 7 days. I just have to make sure I have to bring it with me each time, because if you don't have it, they actually won't let you in. And over the years, they've gotten much better at posting guards at most of the main temples, just to make sure that nobody's cheating the system. Angkor Wat is the most popular destination here in Siem Reap, and countless tourists come here just to see this one temple. So, if you really want this shot at Angkor Wat, you need to be out the door at 4 a.m. and the first one at the gate. It's best to have your tuk-tuk pre-scheduled. This is one of the busiest sunrise locations in the world. It's 4:40. We're the first ones here, so this is quiet. It's not going to be quiet for long. They just opened the bridge. It's pretty dark. I'm going to try to be the first ones on the scene. Sunrise isn't until like 6:20, but the trick is just beeline it right for the reflection, set up and wait. And we're moving. So it's not the same path, but either way, it's like a race you have to win. Only people with tripods are gonna try to win this race. I might let them win, they look really nice. Getting there, watch your step. This goes to show you, no matter how many times you visit, every time is different. Whoa, thank you. All right, hold the light forward. Oh, watch your step, yeah. Yeah, that's really bad. Water lilies, it could look pretty nice. I think somewhere around here is gonna be good. Oh, that's gross. Oh man, this is weird. I had to go around some scaffolding. One of the guys at the food stalls showed us how to get here, and I'm like, my feet are covered in mud already. I'm gonna claim this spot, and there are bugs crawling all over me and everything. It's super muddy, super early, but it's gonna look good. It's worth it. So sorry, tripod, you gotta take the worst of this. Ugh, it's super gross. Ah! Oh my goodness. Right now, I'm literally taking shots in the dark. So I have the ISO up to 12,800. I can't see anything through the camera. So I'm taking a shot, zooming in, moving, taking a shot, zooming in, moving again, honing in on what my composition is going to be. So once the sun starts coming up, I'll already have an idea of what I want to shoot. And right now, the conditions are actually pretty gross. There are all these flowers, but it's like a murky, muddy mess. So I don't even know if the reflection is going to come out. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Once the sun comes up, we'll have more light. We'll be able to tell what the shot's going to look like. But right now, all about hunting for the right composition and preparing for the crowds. It's 5:45, sunrise is around 6:15, so somewhere between like 6 and 6:05 should be the best light, or the best color, but you never really know. You just have to stand and wait with a million people in the mud. We're about 5 minutes from sunrise, and the best light in the sky was like 15 minutes ago. In another few minutes, once that sun comes up, it's going to be completely blown out and backlit. So the shot here, even though it's called the sunrise spot, the best time to capture it is actually about 15 to 20 minutes before the sun actually comes up. All right, sun's up. That wraps it up. I've been standing in that same spot. I got to sit down for a minute. And more importantly, now that I'm away from the crowd in a quiet place, I can take a minute to explain the shot. The first thing you might notice is I picked a medium frame instead of something wide angle. But the next thing you're going to notice is the left side, the spire, is covered with a big box scaffolding. The only thing I can say about that is, well, it sucks. And we'd have to do extensive Photoshop work to remove it. But take a look at the right side. Notice that I also have one of the spires behind a tree. Now that's my mistake, and that's bad positioning. I needed to be probably 5 or 6 steps to the left. But by the time I noticed it and realized that I was in the wrong position, it was too late for me to move because the area was completely full. So there are basically a few solutions here. The best solution, number one, just get up early again and try again, because you can always change your position and hopefully you still get another sky. Option two, you know, do the Photoshop work and put the new spire in where the scaffolding is. But I've been here quite a few times over the years, and thankfully I already have some really nice portfolio shots. This is arguably one of the best sunrise locations to photograph in the world, but it also needs to be explored. Don't be that photographer that just comes here to get the shot and then goes back to the hotel. Take the time to actually explore one of the most historically significant temple complexes in the world. That's certainly what I'm gonna do.
Angkor Wat is so important to the Cambodian people that it's featured prominently on their national flag. It's a huge tourist hotspot, and if you think this is a lot of people, here's what it looks like during peak season. Pretty intense, huh? It's said that it took 500 years to grow into a city, the capital of the Khmer Empire. But just one generation later, it was completely abandoned and nobody knows why.
It's interesting that we're kind of standing on these little ponds taking advantage of reflection shots for photography, but historically, this place was covered with an intricate network of water systems that fed life to the city through irrigation, transportation, and basically kept everybody thriving here. Throughout the years, apparently that's dried up. It's now just these little puddles. And historians say that because of the water depleting and not being able to be managed, it could have been one of the reasons that the people abandoned this place in the first place.
If you want to see Angkor Wat from a different perspective and really get a feeling for its massive size, Siem Reap offers another relatively new attraction.
You don't always need a drone to get an aerial view of a landscape or a cityscape. Sometimes there are alternatives. And it seems like there's a big balloon. I mean, seriously, what's the worst that can happen? It is tethered. I guess the worst thing that could happen is if the tether broke, then you just like fly away. That would be pretty bad, actually. I don't want that to happen. Okay, 3 people. 15 each, 45. Nice hat. That's great. I love your hat. No, it's okay. Oh my. Weird, weird. This is really weird. But it feels like oddly secure. There is a lot of netting. So yeah, there's like no way you can fall out of this thing. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure we could find some creative ways to fall out of this thing. Whoa, okay. That was abrupt. That was a little more abrupt than I thought it was gonna be. All right. In the distance, there's Angkor Wat. It's pretty far away. Like from a photography standpoint, they should have put the balloon closer. I guess you could do sort of ultra telephoto from here. You'd need like 300 millimeter to be able to frame that. I feel like this could be a solid telephoto shot, but the key is to either go up first thing in the morning or try to get the last flight before sunset so you can have the best light. Right now, kind of the middle of the day, it's just too harsh. But it's still cool. Even if you don't want to take a shot, it's nice to come up here and actually see the landscape surrounding this. And it's hard to believe that 750,000 people lived here. And then now it's just kind of a jungle and forest, and nobody knows why they left.
Angkor Thom once contained over 1,000 temples and more than 3,000 villages. Even though most of them are gone now, some standout temples still remain today. Like Ta Som, where the main features are the trees that have grown out of the jungle to become part of the structural support system of the temple itself. Or one of my personal favorites, Ta Som, one of the smallest but most peaceful temples in Siem Reap. In fact, this is a popular site for monks to meditate, and it's also where I met up with Fujifilm X-Photographer La Mo, who brought along a special friend to shoot with us.
Oh, it's so nice to finally meet you.
I'm too. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be here. And I heard you brought a friend with you?
Yeah. Good cha. Cái này thôi anh cung màu đi đam tu sanh đấy. Cái này. Tí đâu này. Ta Som. Chỉ lực tí pi. Cái này đi ban tu sanh nữa. Cái này. Let's go inside.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go. This is a good temple because it's a little further away, and people visit this one. Sometimes they don't make it. You know, they do the Angkor Wat, Bayon Temple, Ta Prom.
Yeah,
so this one
temple.
stays quiet.
Yeah, that's right.
It has a nice feeling to it.
Yeah.
How long have you been a photographer?
I think seriously in photography is 10 years. But before that, I used to use film camera, compact camera. It's supposed to be like hobby for family, for memory. Then I start to consider what can I do for my country in photography.
Yeah. And it must have been interesting to watch Cambodia grow and change, because it's changed a lot in 10 years.
Yeah.
And you've been able to document some of that as well.
Yes. Now I focus a lot on in temple, in culture, people, place. So I start to be a travel photographer now.
Yeah, that's great. Showing people how beautiful the world can be.
Yeah. Actually, it's very good frame.
It's a perfect frame.
It's a perfect.
It's literally a perfect frame.
Yeah. We have the frame, the best frame, but we need a subject. We need something more interesting than a frame. You need to wait for people to come or action to come to make the frame is perfect.
Okay.
So when I take a photo, actually I observe the lighting first. Where is the direction of the lighting? So when I see the lighting, I look for the frame. Where can I put the model in here? My favorite thing is the monk in the temple. Why? Because the dark background and the tree contrast with the clothing of the monk. So the photo is pop up of the subject. And the monk is represent for religious Buddhism in Cambodia. And Cambodia is a Buddhism country. So that's why most of my favorite people is the monk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So it's beautiful and symbolic.
Yeah.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
This is difficult for me because I want to zoom in more, but I want to see the tree.
Yeah. That's nice.
It's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
I think everybody else here is enjoying it too.
Yeah. We do it together.
It feels so quiet right now in here too. It's great. I'm using telephoto and I have a little bit of parallax here. So what I'm trying to do is force some perspective by having this near column out of focus and kind of positioning him and kind of putting his feet in the position between here. So it's creating like this V-shaped frame around him with a soft focus in the foreground. Gives the shot a little bit more depth. Well, I'm really starting to think I should bring models into landscapes more often. This is really cool. I got it just before that person walked in front of me.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that light.
I look at that light. It's nice. The shadow behind.
That's pretty.
Pretty.
You know, you're right too, that the light makes such a big difference.
Yep.
Why did you have him turn around in a circle?
Because I need to observe the light direction on the face, which direction is nicer.
I see. So it starts with the light hitting the
Yeah.
object and
Yeah.
then the orientation of the subject
Yeah.
into the light and the cast of the shadow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot already. The goal of this shot is to use this doorway framing with him standing in the light behind so we can see through the next few corridors with him in the foreground. With the shot, I really like the texture of the walls to the left and right of him. I'm kind of a symmetry nut, so I really like this framing with the parallel lines. That gets really, really cool.
We shot all the way through the sunset, wherever we could find a tourist-free frame. Now, I admit that I don't shoot people very often, but this may have just changed my outlook. Environmental portraiture is a special kind of photography because it's not only the portrait of a person, it also shows that person in the context of their life and in a location that can feel natural for them to be in. My sincere thanks goes out to Lamo for his time and also for sharing his expert knowledge about environmental portraiture. I think I'm all templed out for the day. How about dinner? Let's head to Pub Street, Siem Reap's most vibrant and modern district. With gastropubs on every corner and lots of entertainment and dining options, there are countless places to choose from to satisfy almost every type of food you could possibly desire. So based on a recommendation, I went to Bugs Cafe. No, wait, Bugs Cafe, like actual bugs or like, no, yeah, wow, like actual legit insects.
Now, these aren't like the bugs that you find in the pub street. This is actually cooked as normal meals. So what do we have here? We have quite a bit. Right now there's spring rolls. These are made out of red ants and flying ants. This little guy right here with the crispy outside is a bunch of mashed up spiders inside. And then it looks like we have silkworm and taro croquettes. We have a curry with silkworms and crickets. Then we have a little skewer here, and on this skewer we have grasshoppers, a grilled tarantula, and that's actually a water bug, and apparently you're supposed to just like chew it up and then spit out what's left because you can't eat it all. Now, if that's too much for you, you can always go for the dessert, a Tarantula Donut, and it's got a couple like sweet sauces and a spicy sauce here. And if this all freaks you out because it looks like literal insects, you can also get it in cheeseburger form. So this is called a bug mac. It is a combination of ants, silkworms, crickets, spiders, bee larvae, and probably a few other things that I'm forgetting, but you know what, if you're gonna eat it, I probably shouldn't mention everything that's in it. And lastly, completely unrelated, this is crocodile meat because I'm from Florida and I like to eat alligator. So enough talk. I think I'm gonna start with the red ants because I've been stung by so many red ants in my life. It's time to get payback. So this is a sweet chili sauce and I just kind of gotta go for it. You ants. Oh, I can see little antennas. You know, I've never loved spiders. Maybe they taste good. It tastes like a deep fried anything, like a Cheeto or something. But if you handed me this, I'd say, yeah, that's a spider. You know, you cannot disguise this. It doesn't look like a donut. It doesn't taste like a donut. It's very clearly a tarantula. I think I'm gonna try the silkworm and taro croquette with the special sauce that they've prepared for it. Tasty. Has a particular texture to it. I don't know if I'd call it silky, but it's definitely different, but not bad. It's actually pretty good. It's funny that from a food standpoint, I'm more concerned that it's deep fried than that it's made out of silkworms. Either way, this is a fitting end to a wonderful day of shooting.
That wraps up our first day in Cambodia, exploring both the old and the new. But our adventures are not done yet, as there is so much more this country has to offer.
Join me on the next episode and explore an entire village that's suspended on 30-foot stilts, and head to an enchanting mangrove forest to get some snacks, apparently. Until then, let me know in the comments which destination you think I should go to next. And please, if you're enjoying Moments in Time, subscribe to the channel and show your support.
You ready?
Oh, there's like a leg sticking out of yours. Cheers.
This is really good.
It's good, right?
I mean, it's delicious.
Oh my god.
Why does it look so scary?
Let's go. Ready? 3, 2,
No,
1.
no.
Come on.
No, I can't.
Which side's the ass? Because I don't want to eat that side.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
that's getting crunchier.
You didn't even eat any of them. But there we go. Oh yeah, pull it out. I can't.